everyone, and welcome to another exciting episode of the Williams Today Show. I'm your host, Billy Bob Joe with Real Estate One.
I'm your co-host, Hannah Lachowski with Real Estate One.
My name is William.
Oh, nice to meet you.
I fooled you, didn't I? What was your name?
Sam.
Tana? All right. Well, I'm William's alter ego here today. He's on the beach in the Bahamas right now, and he deserves it. So, Billy Bob Joe with Hannah Today. You guys already know the rules. Positive impact.
One day at a time.
And we are Crickety Coconut.
Cracking the code.
Cracking the code. And on today's episode, guys, the code that we are cracking is to condo life. And since we just actually started venturing off into that world the past 2 months, we figured perfect opportunity to discuss with our potential buyers what to expect if they make that decision. So, but before we get into that, guys, our positive impact for today is this beautiful quote. And me and Hannah wake up every single morning, and our goal is to set our first 20 minutes in the direction of positive something. It has to be positive something.
Mm-hmm.
And it's proven that the first 20 minutes, what you think about, and people don't realize this, is what will drive you the rest of the day. It kind of like establishes your mood.
Right.
So,
Win the morning, win the day.
win the morning, win the day. That was good. That's on our business plan. She remembered. Yes. All right, so we start every day with a quote, and this one is one that we absolutely have to share with you guys. Hannah says it 10 times, a million times better than me. But yeah, I'm gonna let you take it over.
All right. So I feel like this is something everybody needs to hear, 100%. Because I don't want to say that I know for a fact everybody thinks this, but
I do.
it's hard not to.
Definitely guilty. Definitely.
All right. So this is by Jim Rohn, and he says, "Learn how to be happy with what you have while you pursue all that you want." That really just kind of stuck with me a lot.
It did.
I know that everybody, gets in their head like, oh my gosh, am I doing enough? I want this, and that, but I'm not there yet. Am I gonna ever get there? But, and then we kind of get unhappy with where we are right now. So I think we all just need to, remind ourselves, step back, like this is where I am, this is where I'm meant to be, this is where I need to be. I will get to where I want because I'm so worried the way that I am, right? So all you have to, just keep
Beautifully said.
Just keep pushing forward, keep going, in the way that you know or that you think is the right track, and I promise you'll get there.
Yep.
100%.
Every step forward is better than a step back.
Right.
Small steps will eventually get you there, I promise. And just be grateful for what you have now. That's my just find the positive in what you have now.
Right there.
But always hold yourself to a certain standard and keep pushing.
Yeah,
Put those small little baby steps.
You want to keep pushing forward. You don't want to stay stagnant and stay where you are. Oh,
stagnant water, it sits long enough, it's disgusting and it smells. So just saying. Anyway.
Yeah, but this reminded me actually of another quote by Tony Robbins, which is another great motivational speaker. He said, I don't know if this is word for word, but basically saying that you as slow as you think that you might be progressing, you're still ahead of the guy that's not trying.
Absolutely. That was great too. That's awesome. I'm
Jim
glad you
Rohn
remembered
and Tony
that.
Robbins, man, those are my two favorites.
Because I have a bunch up there, but that one is really, really good as well. So any way that you can just keep moving, guys.
Right.
Just keep moving. Get those gears rumbling every single day. Even if you don't feel like you're doing anything, you are doing better than the person that's not doing anything.
Right. Exactly.
Don't be stagnant. It stinks. It smells. All right? All right, so yes, guys, we're talking about condos today. We could talk positive impact all day long, I feel like. That's what we should make this show. But we're going to touch condos a little bit. We're going to talk pros and cons, and don't mind us because our opinions are jumping in because we just started our life in the condos.
Right,
So,
and our cons might be your pros, and our pros might be your cons.
Absolutely.
It depends on what kind of person you are. If you're a social butterfly, if you're not, you like activity, if you don't, it all depends.
Just keep it in mind, if we're saying it's a con, it might be a pro to you,
Right.
So, starting with number one is, I think it's a pro, is ownership. You have the security of knowing that you own property, right? Because cash depreciates. Property, the housing market can go up and down, but it's there, it's solid, you have an ownership. It's the same thing with a residential property, but you just know that you're not living in an apartment, you actually own this unit. So
yeah, and that mortgage amount's going to be a lot lower than that rental amount.
Yeah, depending on the condominium.
Yeah. If you buy
location.
like a $300,000 condo, then maybe not. But
right, absolutely. Yeah, and 9 times out of 10, in the subdivisions around it, the residential homes are usually more than the condominium units. So So for the first-time homeowners, that might be within your budget, and also have the luxury of knowing that you own the property.
Exactly.
Another pro lawn maintenance, and snow removal.
Yes.
Oh my.
You know, for Michiganders, having somebody take care of your snow for you in the morning is always a freaking win.
I am waiting for that day. We haven't gotten to that point, but I am so stoked to wake up in the morning and not slip and bust my boot. Okay, I am so stoked about that. And then also with the lawn care, not something we have to worry about. Some people might be opposed to that, but
yeah, some people like to go out, you know, and take care of their lawn. They take pride in it, but me myself, not for me.
Not a. Maybe one day I'll get to that point, but right now I'm completely okay with it. So
right, exactly.
Another pro, guys, is the exterior of the property. Right, we're talking roof, we're talking siding, and the foundation. All things that could be a major expense to homeowners in a residential property. Beautiful luxury to have, and in my opinion, worth the association dues.
Which pays for all that? I don't think we made that that clear.
Yes.
They take care of all that for you.
The association dues. So usually the association dues will cover lawn maintenance, the water bill. Don't quote me on this because it changes depending on, but this is just the majority of the time. I said lawn maintenance, water bill, and the exterior of the property.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah,
Everything on the inside, it's your responsibility. You don't want people just poking around inside all the time. So they leave that up to you. Another pro that can be looked at as a con, but we're talking pros right now, is the security of knowing that if you're away from your property, you have the units are not joined, so people, you know, are there to keep an eye on it. And you also have the involvement with the community. So
and sometimes they're gated in too, where they have like, you know, a security guard up front, you know, making sure that you live there, that you know somebody that lives there, that you're, you know.
So that's another pro, and I'm kind of on the fence about that because I do like my privacy, but
I agree.
I could take it or leave it. I think at this point in my life, I used to be one of those, you know, let's buy a bunker and live in that the rest of our lives. But it's okay to be associated with people. It's all right.
Yeah, 100%.
Be social.
We're social butterflies now.
That's right. That's right. I mean, I've always been, but there's, you know, there's pride in knowing that you have space to, you know, run around outside. So before we get buried in cons and slash pros, let's talk cons for a second, right?
Right.
So mentioning association dues in the beginning, that could be potentially looked at as a con, right?
Right.
Because when you pay off that mortgage, that's still a payment you have to make.
Yeah, exactly.
Along with
it's
property
never
taxes.
goes away.
It's always going to be there, but it covers those things, right? But it could be looked at as a con, absolutely. So privacy, we just talked about that as well. People are close to you. You have to be willing to be okay with people being that close to you.
Basically, you know, sharing the same walls as them. So.
Yes, and there could be possible, you know, the noise, and that's expected when you have only a wall separating.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that you gotta, you know, I mean, honestly, if you do consider moving into a condo, I'd for sure write out a list, you know, outweigh.
And that's what we're here to do for you today, and we are speaking from experience.
Yes.
And I think we have found both a lot of pros and a lot of cons.
Yeah.
We're still on the fence, I think. We haven't been there long enough yet, but we're just breaking it down for you guys.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like since, you know, it's like our first owning home, that I feel like it's great for us, you know?
Right.
Like it's awesome to start off with. Our mortgage amount is very low. We're gone a lot working. We're going to end up traveling soon, like all that kind of stuff. So I think it's great.
I definitely wouldn't turn a first-time home buyer away from it.
No.
See, now back when, if it depends on where your mentality's at though, because if you're a partier, and it's expected when you're younger, have a good time.
Right.
Noise can become an issue, which we're digging into cons, so let's point one of those out. The bylaws, regulations, right? Damn rules, right? Things that you wouldn't necessarily have to deal with when you own a residential home. Right. So noise would be one of them. Specific kinds of pets, depending on the condominium you live in.
Right.
Sometimes there is no restrictions, but there's regulations you have to follow, such as, you know, don't speed like crazy. So if you're of a younger group of people, you might press that gas pedal a little too hard, turn that music up a little too loud, and become an annoyance to people.
Right, exactly.
But it's just things to keep in mind.
Right.
Did we talk about storage? We did not.
No. Or parking spaces too, because you know, of course, you're gonna have two at the most. You know, one of those probably being parked in your garage as a parking space. So
yeah, some of them don't have garages. A lot of condos do. Some of them don't. So keep that in mind. Space. If you want a boat, you want a camper, you want to have extra vehicles, it can be difficult to do in a condo because there is limited parking.
Yeah,
because the other people need to
like
park.
Like if you're a big car fixer-upper mechanic guy, I don't think I'd suggest the condo.
Yeah, there's many groups of people, and they're definitely gonna find that in the process. Like, oh, it's solid, it looks beautiful, but wait, I can't have 17 cars in my backyard.
I know, right?
Maybe not. Maybe not for me. So another con, guys, I don't want to say it's a con, but it is, I think, by the majority of people looked at as a con, are the assessments. that potentially come up. It's not all the time, but it is expected to happen, assessment. So lawn maintenance is covered, usually. If a tree has to be taken down, that's another type of lawn maintenance.
Right.
You have to hire a company to come do that, a separate company. So depending on the amount of trees or whatever, that's a price that the association isn't already covering. So that might bring the dues up for another year. So you might see a jump.
Right.
So if you don't prepare for that, and that's just another thing to keep in mind, right? If foundations and some units need to be replaced or fixed, that could also turn into an assessment that raises those dues that everybody has to pay.
Yeah,
So
exactly. So yeah, so the HOA fees aren't always going to stay the same.
aren't always. Can't ever expect
Yeah,
it
you
to.
can't. Yeah, you definitely can't say for sure that you could live there for like 5 years and it doesn't change at all. But
Right, you got to think about inflation.
really,
The price of $1 depreciates every single day.
especially nowadays.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, keep that in mind. It's gonna rise eventually, and of course, yeah. I had one more thing I wanted to mention. It was about Florida, just a prime example
Yeah.
of what might happen and what may raise the association to. So in Florida, they have a lot of hurricanes, and so the insurance policies raise because they're tearing houses down. So the association says the insurance went up that we have to pay, so that means your association dues went up, which is understandable,
That's a great example.
but can hit people by shock that have been living in this condo and dealing with the same set payment monthly for so long.
Yeah, for the last 30 years or something,
It's important to be educated on anywhere you decide to move.
Yes,
That jump is very important.
Absolutely.
But we wanted to break down condos for you guys, give you a little bit of insight into that.
Right. Condo living, baby. Is it for you or is it not?
And if you've decided that it is or it is not, you guys know who to reach out to get the job done. Team 3 Key gets the job done. But that's all we got for you guys today. As always, it costs $0 to be a decent human being. We'll see you guys on the next episode.